What up, what up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio, and we're here to be discussing the big fight, the one we've been waiting for quite some time now. The Mexican Monster, that name given to him by Mike Tyson himself, will be taking on Canelo Alvarez. I don't want to say victim.
Foe.
Well, he's more than a foe. He's the last and only person in this era to do such great numbers with Canelo Alvarez, better than the trilogy with Gennady Golovkin, and I'm talking Caleb Plant.
That is very true, Nestor.
But how are you, Mr. Alvarez?
Bro, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited, not just because of this fight announcement, a fight that we've known of for some months now. You know, we had to keep our mouths quiet for a little bit, and then we did it, but now it's official, it's confirmed, and let me tell you, Nes, it is on a huge weekend. Like, I'm not kidding. If you're watching this right now and you plan to come to Vegas for this fight, book your room right now, because that is going to be one of the more expensive weekends of the year in Vegas, let me tell you. Huge.
You think Plant, Benavidez?
No, I mean, there's a lot going on just in the city on top of the fight, bro. Yes, it is a fight. Cool. But T-Mobile Arena right across the street is going to have 20,000 fans in the building for the Elite Eight, college basketball. Millions of homes are going to be tuned into that. So, I mean, the city is going to be a bit electric. First time they get, you know, collegiate basketball, March Madness in the city. On top of that, at Allegiant Stadium, huge concert. I forget who it is. I'm pulling it up. Hold on. I'm sorry. Huge concert, though. Taylor fucking Swift, bro.
Okay.
Taylor Swift, back-to-back nights.
So we might get a Kanye sighting.
Yo, if we get a Kanye sighting at the concert, that'd be amazing. That'd be no.
So all that is
amazing.
happening in the week of the March 25th?
Bro, the same night.
Lord.
The same night.
Do you think that takes away from ticket sales, or you think that adds to the...
It has to take away from ticket sales. Like, from the tourist aspect, right? So the diehards and the people that are like, bro, the boxing fans, they're not putting Taylor Swift, you know what I'm saying? We might have some fans that choose the Elite Eight college basketball over the fight, perhaps. I don't know at what time that game is. I am pulling that up as well.
While you do that, let me shift your attention to a poll I'm trying to create, because our second part of this show is also 168 pounds, the same division as Plant and Benavidez. Now free agent Edgar Berlanga. So before we get into the details, what happened is he did not re-up with Top Rank. They didn't see eye to eye, so they decided to part ways. That being said, Danny, my question to you is, I'm trying to create a poll. Who should Edgar sign to? Should I have him sign to promoters and we only get 4 choices, or should I have him sign to networks where we only get 4 choices? Maybe 5, Boxer and Black Prime. Boxer, Black Prime, The Zone, Top Rank again, and PBC. So one can't go on there. And the reason...
I think you could... I'm not saying combine Boxer and Black Prime, but I think we put them together for the post purpose, in the sense that they're the small dog, right?
But are they? They're offering big money
I know,
right now.
But they're the ones coming up. They're the ones coming up, but they're a player. Look, right now, you do have a fight already offered, in a sense. Steven Nelson already called Edgar out for that fight on Black Prime.
How do you feel about removing the Top Rank option, since he just signed to get out of the deal? It's highly unlikely they go right back into negotiations. Like, because I'm having it, I put make it right with Top Rank, but you can't, right? Like,
no, I think you need to give him at least the one fight where...
with someone else before he could go back to Top Rank?
Even consider.
So if we're taking off Top Rank, we're keeping PBC, Al Heyman, we're keeping Matchroom. Do we replace Top Rank with Golden Boy, who has Bivol?
You got to put Golden Boy. They have Munguia. You know, they are the Latin promoter, if you will.
They had Miguel Cotto, the last Puerto Rican star in boxing. So that'll be our poll. First option, Golden Boy. Second option, PBC and Al Heyman. Third option, Black Prime and Boxer. And Matchroom Boxing is your fourth option. Before you guys actually pick, maybe you should hear some options. We know that Steven Nelson has been very vocal online, suggesting that because Berlanga is a free agent and he is a free agent, that they can somehow get it on under the Black Prime banner. And I'm wondering or assuming it will be on that February 25th card. So that's an option for him on the Black Prime side.
Damn, that quick?
Oh, you think that's too soon? I mean, there's no other dates that are out there.
No, I'm just saying, they did speak on having a certain amount of pay-per-views per year, or this year, maybe they do something in New York.
Well, they definitely said they were looking to do 6 pay-per-view events this year. There is no reason to rush. Gentlemen, let me get a screen share just so we can show you the facts. This is Steven So Cold Nelson, also a Terrence Crawford stablemate, where he says, if you really bout that Edgar Berlanga, then this fight should be easy to make. We both free agents, and Black Prime would love to promote this fight. So Cold emoji with the monster emoji. And that's a quote tweet to a direct tweet from Edgar Berlanga that says, I'm definitely trying to test your gangster in the ring instead of the internet, though. Let's just keep it simple and make the fight happen ASAP. But look at what he said there. So actually, that was Steven. I don't know if this is Steven So Icy that quote tweeted, or did Berlanga quote tweet, because because then there's another message here that says otro mamabicho. So that sounds more like Berlanga talking than Steven So Icy coming on the top saying, I'm definitely trying to test your gangster.
That's exactly how it is.
And,
it says Berlanga right there.
And it says Berlanga's in Puerto Rico, and he starts off and says otro mamabicho, which means another dick sucker. You know what I'm saying? So he got very disrespectful and invited my friend Steven So Icy to, his genitalia. Then he says, never question my gangster, with hella monster emojis. And he says, I'm going to send your ass into retirement, no cap. Now, yeah. You think they could get it on? I mean, I like the build-up, for sure.
I do like the build-up. Berlanga is going to have a plethora of options. I am one of the believers that we see Eddie and Matchroom make a big attempt, a big financial move for Berlanga. Keith Conley, who is Berlanga's manager, works very closely with Eddie. He has Mark Castro over there. So
he also has Adam Kovnacki on PBC, so he can shop Edgar to both sides.
He does have
and Richardson Hitchens was Matchroom, also with Keith Conley.
Yep.
Derevyanchenko's been a free agent, but he's fought on Matchroom. He's fought on Top Rank. He's fought on PBC. And yes, Danny Jacobs is also with him
as well. So that's your screen sharing, champ.
Oh, wow. So what I wanted to also tell people, because there's 4 options, right? So you got Black Prime. They could possibly put on a Steven So Icy fight, So Cold fight. Then you got Matchroom that has Bivol, 68-pounder, WBO title. They got Gilberto, 68-pounder. They got, actually, that's not 68. Both of those guys are 75. But they have Callum Smith. He's also 75. John Ryder, 68. Rocky Fielding just retired. What is Billing Smith?
What about him?
Well, wait. Because we're just looking at options. They got Danny Jacobs over there, Billing Smith over there. Who else in that 68?
Ryder.
Yeah, I mentioned Ryder.
Okay.
Callum moved up to 75.
What about my other mans?
Who that?
The first one Canelo fought at 68.
Yeah, he retired. Rocky Fielding.
Oh, Rocky retired.
Gabriel Rosado's still over there at 68. Beck the Bully, but that's the zone, right? And
Yeah,
Gabe Rosado.
No. Beck
Rosado is also Golden Boy.
I think Beck is Golden Boy.
And so is Rosado.
I think.
So for the Matchroom side,
Yeah,
they really
I'm pulling up the roster now.
Matchroom side
Because-
they really only got
Pacheco.
Pacheco, but he's a prospect.
And they just announced Pacheco and some guy in the UK today.
Okay.
He's stepping up.
But Pacheco's on prospect contender. I don't know. I feel like Berlanga is further along than that. They got Christian Mabili. Who's he signed? I know he's with Eye of the Tiger. Who else? And they saying Billingsmith is at cruiserweight. Damn. Anthony Sims is not with them anymore. I just talked to his trainer. They getting a fight somewhere else in the UK.
I'm trying to find.
Because now we can shift our attention to Al Haymon and PBC. He's got Anthony Durrell over there. He's got Kyrone Davis, who can move up to 68, fought the Mexican Monster. Lonnie B is a 68-pounder. He's not necessarily with PBC and Al, but that's the last place he fought. Ustatagi, David Benavidez, Caleb Plant. Am I missing?
So Eddie got
Gongora, right? Or did he get rid of
Eddie
him?
got Gennady.
That's 60, though.
Yeah, he could make. Think about that matchup in New York.
I love it.
You get what I'm saying? Gennady didn't look bad against Canelo. Like, obviously.
I mean, he did. Berlanga did say this is chess, not
Yo,
checkers.
and his last fight was at 68. Think about it. He just fought Canelo at 68.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying.
But his titles are
I
at
understand
60,
that.
and, there's no Canelo in this equation, which means that you got to use Gennady's titles to sell the fight. It's not, Gennady fighting a Puerto Rican is not a big deal. He's not Mexican, you know what I mean? So you can't just sell it off the...
But I'm just saying, you got two individuals who sell in New York individually.
Absolutely.
Individually. Bivol's at 75. I'm going through. Oh, I could just pick on the weight. Boom. Super middleweight. Bow.
You on DAZN?
Yes.
Matchroom?
So they have, Franchon Cruz at super middle, the undisputed champ.
Yeah, she the woman.
Shout out. Billy Joe.
Retired.
They still have him on there. Aaron Bowen. Who is this guy?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of this guy.
What else they got?
That's it. That pop up.
And Pacheco, that's it then. So the move is PBC.
So light heavy. Let's see what they have. Just out of shits and gigs.
No, light heavy, they got Bivol and they got Zuldo. And they got...
no, Zurdo's Golden Boy.
True.
They got Buatsi. They got Bivol, Craig Richards, Callum Smith, Khalil Coe, and that's it. Now let me look
Khalil
at
Coe's American, but he's too young in. I just don't see where unless he's going to go on a Euro tour, I don't see the fights over there.
Anthony Fowler, Ammo, Felix Cash, and Gennady.
Ammo is not at 68.
60.
Exactly.
So I'm saying Anthony Fowler.
Liam Williams, do they
Ammo.
still have him?
Nah, he's boxed, I think.
Yeah, no, it looks like the move is PBC because you got less than 5 names on your Matchroom side. Let's do DAZN Golden Boy before we move on to PBC fully.
Bro, Matchroom ain't got that many fighters. Now that I'm looking at it.
No, they don't. But on the DAZN side, on the Golden Boy side, who do they have? Because
You said on the Golden Boy?
yeah, because I feel like they have more 75-pounders than 68-pounders.
Let me pull that up. Golden Boy Promotions. So, we have Shane Mosley Jr. Or Shane Mosley Jr., I'm sorry. At middleweight.
That's a good fight.
You got Jaime Munguia at middleweight.
Another good fight.
You got Demetrius Ballard at middleweight.
And remember that Shane Mosley holds a 68-pound title for the WBA.
Is it 68 or 60?
68. And Jaime Munguia, He's
You
talking
right,
about
you
fighting
right, you
Bivol.
right, you right.
Jaime Munguia's talking about fighting Bivol. So a Puerto Rico versus Mexico with Berlanga and Munguia sounds about right. You don't need a belt to sell that.
Yep, I'm trying to see.
Gilberto Ramirez is at light heavyweight.
Yep,
They could
Zurdo.
possibly do a catchweight fight.
That's it, really.
Aaron Silva, still a prospect, only at middleweight, super middleweight. Oh, no, that's welterweight. I was going to say Patrick Teixeira, but he hasn't moved up. And that's about it, which brings us to the PBC side. They got more options. You got Anthony Durrell, which is 1, Ustategui 2, Kyrone Davis 3. You got Plant, Benavidez. You got who else over there? 68.
I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, I doubt they have a full roster showing.
They do.
PBC?
Absolutely. So at 68, you got El Perro Angulo.
Oh my God.
You got
they really still got him registered?
You got David Benavidez. Well, he's like on a 6-fight win streak.
Not with PBC.
With PBC.
Angulo?
Yeah, bro. They've been throwing them on like the streams before the cards and shit.
Holy smokes. Who's training them?
No, I don't know. I'm fucking with you.
You're a liar, bro.
I feel like
What's
he's
up? You
won
lie
a few
so
fights
so
recently.
easily too.
David Benavidez, Kyrone Davis, the dog Anthony Durrell, Danny Jacobs, David Morrell, Caleb Plant, Caleb Truex. You got Marcus Brown at 75. You got Andre Durrell at 75. You got Atif Overton at 75. You got John Pascal at 75. You got Emmanuel Lim at 60. Benavidez Jr. apparently has moved up to 60. Jamal Charlo's at 60. Derevyanchenko is at 60.
Bro, they got Chris Eubank registered. I don't know that we can believe this website.
I don't know. Yo, Elvis is...
I see Daniel Jacobs registered here. Like, what the hell? Peter Quillen. Like, come on, man. Is Derevyanchenko, is he even fighting? Is he with PBC? I don't know that I believe these guys. You know, it's like Lou DiBella. You go through his website, you still got old fighters.
Look, they got a milk car.
But we've had more options on this PBC side. There are more options for him. Obviously, Benavidez, Plant, those are big names. Anthony Durrell, that's a good name, developmental fight for him. Kyrone Davis, another good name to put him in there with before you do Berlanga, common opponent. Ustategui, former world champ. He's never even been in with former world champs. Like, he's still got developing to do, and at least they have the fighters available. Keith Conley is so smart. Keep in mind, this is not the first time that Top Rank and Conley have to do business with Berlanga. He re-upped Berlanga, purposely made it a 2-fight deal so that he could be back in negotiations trying to get better. Obviously, Berlanga probably didn't continue the knockouts, and that's why these negotiations didn't go as planned. Maybe they weren't trying to give the mandatory minimum for a guy that stopped getting knockouts and for a guy that the world believes, you know, needs to prove that he still is the monster. But the manager keeping him capped at a 2-fight deal allows him to shop around now. And honestly speaking, the last one we didn't mention is Boxer, where I believe they got Gongora. I know they got Chris Eubank. They got Liam Smith. And they're throwing out money. I hear they just signed Anthony Sims too.
If you yeah, I heard that as well. If you are Keith, would it be smart perhaps to shop them one fight at a time?
Yeah, but it depends on, I mean, because look at what Andre was able to do, which is another name we didn't even mention at 68.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Common opponent with Damon Nicholson. But
Damon's another. Well, no, he already fought Damon. He already fought Damon.
And he's kind of a free agent. On, you know, he is signed to Tony Jeter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I didn't want to have to recommend PBC because of their lack of dates and lack of activity, especially for a very celebrated and popular prospect / contender like Berlanga. You know, he came out yesterday and let us know, like, look, I've sold out the Garden twice, the small arena. You know, I kind of proven what I could do. And he's right. You know, he moves tickets.
That's for sure.
He moves tickets. Now keep in mind that sparring footage was leaked of Erickson Lubin dropping him a long time ago. I don't know how possible that fight is, but there's a rivalry there if Lubin is ever willing or looking to move up. You know? But again, he needs to choose somewhere that they can develop him or continue to develop him. But from his posts and the fact that he's saying he's playing chess and not checkers, and he was going down his resume of, financial accolades in terms of what he's been able to do in the ring and how many tickets he's been able to sell, what do you think? Is he looking for development, or are him and Keith in this situation because they wanted a big fight?
Well, I think first one back is going to be a soft touch. Not just
because of the injury, right?
Yeah, not just because of the suspension, but the injury. He's had that time off the ring.
What injury was that? Because, the controversy I remember is him taking a nice chunk out of his opponent, a la Mike Tyson, and biting him. Then I never seen him fight again.
Well, he had surgery on, I believe it was his right arm.
Okay.
So coming back from that, coming back from everything else, I expect a soft touch. So I guess you can call that developmental. But
are you serious about Angulo fighting? When's the last time he fought? Because, that would make sense. You know, if you're Al or whoever's going to sign him, market him like that. Keep putting him in with Mexicans. You know what I mean? That's the green print. Puerto Rico versus Mexico, there's a huge rivalry that dates back. Like Juanma and Orlando Salido sold out in Puerto Rico because he's Mexican. And they want to see that rivalry and who's going to come out on top. So Munguia, Berlanga, shit's fireworks.
He might be retired. So that's what it was, because I was there when he got this huge upset knockout. And then he fought Peter Quillen and then got that big upset. And then he lost by UD to Vladimir Hernandez.
Oh, you know who else PBC has? Caleb Truax.
Bro, Look at his boxer picture.
No, he looks like the caveman from Geico.
Bro, it looks like he has on a toupee.
He want to look smart with the glasses.
Yeah, I don't know what's up, my man. But yeah, so I expect a soft touch for Berlanga coming back. Maybe not Angulo. I think, like I said, he is retired now, perhaps. But he's been out the ring 3 years. So who else? Who can you throw him in there with?
Those are like, we kind of went over the best sounding fights, right? Like Berlanga, Jaime Munguia, Berlanga. And it depends how we looking at this. How do you want me to look at it? Like he's ready, or Berlanga signing to someone for development? Because if you're saying he's ready, Berlanga plant, Berlanga, Benavidez, Berlanga Ustatigi, is Berlanga Andre Durrell, like PBC makes sense. If you don't think he's ready, but you want him in a big fight, Berlanga Jaime Munguia, is there a 2-fight deal with Golden Boy? Who else other than Jaime?
Who did we just say? Let me pull it back.
Black Prom, I like the Berlanga Steven Nelson, but not if it ain't going to be on a Broner card. Like, when we getting that? And who's going to be the main event? Like, I don't want
the main event.
Nah.
Nah?
Nah. I don't know. Did he ever main event?
Who?
Berlanga.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I think his last two.
Wow, with Damon.
Yup.
Oh, wow.
Those were main events.
Oh, wow.
Actually, no. So then that would be maybe his last 3, Nesta. Hold on. Let's see.
Steve Rose was a main event too?
Hold on. Let's see. Yes.
Wow.
Hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, we forgot about David Morrell. Like, there's a lot of 68-pounders over there.
Okay, so not the last 3, but 3 out of the last 4.
So then, okay. I don't like it because if that's the main event, then the undercards they're obviously not going to be strong. Like, who? If that's your main event, who's your undercard on Black Prom?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. It's not like they got a plethora of people.
No, but they.
You know what I'm saying?
No, they're mostly working with. I obviously free agents or people that don't have ties.
All right. So it looks like we got our first guest. We're going to go ahead and cut to Kenichi Bear. We will have Otto Wallin on the show, heavyweight, said to be getting that big AJ fight or maybe out of the runnings for the AJ fight due to Jermaine Franklin. So we'll be right back. What up, what up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are joined by heavyweight contender Otto Wallin. Otto, how are you?
Uh-oh.
Hold on
Give
a
us
minute.
1 second.
Give us 1 second.
There we go.
hear you. We hear you. Yes, yes. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. You look good, man. You look good. How's the weather out there?
Thank you. You too. Well, it's raining right now, so it's not great, but at least it's not snow. I'm not crazy about snow, so
Yeah, I hate the
take the
snow
rain
too.
today.
I hate the snow. It's freezing out here in Vegas, man. Sometimes it's getting to 32 degrees. So, are you still hopeful that this AJ fight happens, or have you moved on to frustration that Jermaine Franklin is kind of being thrown in the runnings?
I'm not frustrated with Franklin. I think that would be nice for him if he can get it, but of course I would like to get it too. But you know, it's just boxing. Some fights you get, some fights you don't get. But I feel like I'm deserving of it, and I could give AJ a really good fight. I think I could beat him. So they probably know that as well. So that might be why they're looking at somebody else right now.
Do you think that the decision is more based off the fact that you are a southpaw and he had the troubles that he had with Usyk, so maybe they want him to get a couple wins with not such an experienced southpaw as yourself?
Well, it's probably part of it, but I think all in all, even if I was an orthodox fighter, they know that I'm a good fighter, so and that he would had a lot of problems with me. So they're probably not looking for that right now. He's coming off of 2 losses, so I mean, it makes sense for him to fight somebody that's a little bit less.
So 3 years ago, you burst on the scene, giving the world an amazing performance against Tyson Fury, where some are calling one of his toughest fights. Do you feel that your promoter and you and your team were able to capitalize off of the momentum from that fight? Or do you think some things could have went differently and you should have been a bigger star after that fight?
Yeah, we had a good deal with Showtime. I had a couple fights there that was good against Travis Kaufman, Dominic Brazil. So things were going well. But then we had problems getting fights there. So I couldn't really get fights. And then I had an offer to fight Dylan White, which I was supposed to fight in 2021. And everything was set and everything. And then 10 days before, he pulled out of the fight. And actually, the winner of that fight would have got to fight Fury. So that was a little bit unfortunate. And since that fight, I've had to take 2, stay busy fights, and it's been a little slow for me right now. But I'm just, keeping active, staying in the gym, and then I hope that it's gonna be starting to get better soon.
Are you still training with Joey Gamach?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, that's great news. That is good news. So you seem to have a fight scheduled for this month in January, no?
Yeah, and not this Friday, but the Friday after, the 27th. So I'm gonna fight a guy named Helaman Olguin. He's a Mexican-American, and he lives in Utah. He's like 9-4. He's not a bad fighter, but he's not on my level. So I'm looking to go in there and handle my business and then hopefully move on. But I can't overlook this guy. I gotta take care of him first.
Otto, I can't help but ask, how is Salita not getting you something bigger than this, champ?
Is it because you need the tune-up for the time off?
It's important to stay active always. I don't like having a lot of time off. I'm always in the gym training, so I need fights. But we agreed on that we wanted to go for the Joshua fight, so we've been trying for that for a while now. And then Dylan White and a few other fights, but it hasn't materialized. So I'm taking this fight now, and then if we can't get those big names, I want to maybe take a step back, take somebody like a Jagba or Charles Martin or Dempsey McKean, that type of guy. Yes, so I can get a more significant fight. It's nice to fight, but I want to fight real fights.
So I don't know if you know your opponent for January 27th. He faced Ronnie Hines. Are you familiar with Ronnie Hines out of Ohio?
No, but I know that he was undefeated, and I watched like one round of their fight today, or not their fight. I watched him fight somebody else actually. Yeah, I think he was undefeated. This guy had a draw with him.
I know. Honestly, last I heard, Ronnie Hines was hurt and had a hand injury. I had no clue he got this fight in a couple days ago. This is basically December 10th on the when Crawford fought. Not in the same location, but I can't believe he got that draw. Wow. So now I see why you say this guy is tough for sure, because no undefeated prospect wants to lose or get a draw. So, all right. You got to stay on point with this one.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's heavyweight boxing, so everything can change with just one punch. So, I'm in great shape. We got a good game plan for this guy. He's a southpaw, and I've been sparring a lot of southpaws. And when I was living in Denmark, when I first turned pro, I had a southpaw sparring partner there, so we were sparring all the time. So I'm pretty experienced with southpaws. Fury turned southpaw with me. In the second round when we fought, he quickly turned back because he knew that I was prepared for that. Or he saw that I was prepared for that. So I think that I'm prepared for this guy too.
Do you have any? I'm sorry, Danny. I just want to. Are there any more details that we might be missing on why the split with PBC? I mean, after beating Dominic Brazil, it would make sense to get you other numbers. Was it a situation where Al needed you to be co-promoted with him, or you had to sign to him? Because it's not making sense. You got 3 good fights on Showtime with 3 good fighters. Why wouldn't they re-up a contract?
Yeah, no, I agree. I had to deal with Showtime, so it was not with PBC, right? So I think that was the problem, that they, Showtime, they have PBC events on their channel, but PBC was hesitant to match their guys with me because I was not with PBC. So
and that's what I'm insinuating. Like, did you receive indication or a notice that they wanted you to sign to them in order to get these bigger fights, or was that never offered to you?
Never offered to me. I never heard anything about that.
Yeah, very unfortunate, man, because there's a lot of fighters over there. Right now, Andy Ruiz was ordered for 2 title eliminators, one with the Wilder in the WBC, and now today with Filip Hrgovic in the IBF. What are your thoughts on those 2 mandatory challenges that he was ordered to take, and which one do you believe Andy Ruiz takes, who, I'll just give you some information, came out on his social media yesterday, training very hard, throwing uppercuts, and the caption was, "I'm coming for the belts."
Oh, that's news to me. I knew that he was going to be ordered to fight Wilder, but not Hrgovic. So that's pretty interesting, I think.
So the WBC ordered Wilder, and then the IBF today ordered Hrgovic.
Okay. Well, I honestly think that Wilder is a very tough fight for him, because Andy is good. He's a very skilled fighter, but he takes a lot of breaks, and when you have somebody with Wilder with that kind of power, it's just difficult because you gotta stay on point the whole fight. And lately I think Andy has been taking a lot of breaks. He's taking rounds off and stuff. So he was dropped with Ariola. So I think that would be a very tough fight for him. And then Hrgovic, I think that we don't know enough really about him yet. He had a tough fight with Chang, so it'll be interesting. I think though that Hrgovic is a good boxer, so we gotta see more though. I don't really know, but maybe, I don't know. That might be 2 tough fights for him, I think.
Do you see things changing for yourself for the better for 2023? Can you see yourself in an eliminator or a title shot this year?
Well, I really hope so. And we're working on it. And like I said, I mean, I'm willing to take fights. So if we can't get those big fights, we got to move on and take a step back and fight like somebody, like I said, a Jogba. He's just coming to mind because he just fought. But there's a lot of guys there that I want to fight and I think that I can beat. So I think that's what I need to do, just to, keep climbing the rankings and get into a good position to fight for the title or an eliminator.
Have you considered sitting down with your promoter to see if he can help find you a co-promotional deal? Like you have Joe DeGuardia has Carlos Takam co-promoted with Top Rank. Lou DiBella has Stephen Big Shot Shaw co-promoted with Top Rank. And that's how they're getting these fights against Ajagba and Pulev. Is that a situation you've considered, or do you think you and Salita can get it done as separate entities and independents?
No, I think that Dimitri, he is somewhat dependent on bigger promoters because he doesn't have a big TV deal right now. So he doesn't have, the backing to put me on a big card on his own card, right? So he needs to work with other promoters, and he does. It's just a little sticky situation right now because, I'm a big threat, but low reward. I think a lot of people look at me as. So, I'm just like I said, I need to stay active, get my fights, and climb the rankings. So,
if you had your choice,
I think.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were done. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you had your choice of a co-promotion to land on, where do you think the action best suits you? Obviously, Top Rank keeps their fighters very active. You see Jared Anderson is already in the top 10 in the WBC. Ajagba, Shaw, they've been moving. Even Pulev, Rydell Booker, who's not even really with Top Rank, continues to get fights on Top Rank. Or do you think the PBC side is a better co-promotion because they have bigger name heavyweights?
Yeah, good question. I think that, all the work is not here either. I think, you have Matchroom, you have Sky and Boxer over in England because, you have Fury and White and Dubois, Joe Joyce over there. But then over here, I would say maybe Top Rank because it's important to stay active. I think that, PBC, I don't see those heavyweights fighting that much. So I want to fight, 3-4 times a year. So, that's important for me when I make a decision like that. So I will have to look at the big picture and see what they can offer in terms of how often I can fight.
Absolutely. I mean, the Top Rank makes sense, especially if somehow, they can position you for a rematch with Fury. There's history, storyline. You got the blood. So I can see that, happening for you.
Otto, I wanted your thoughts. You're the last southpaw that Tyson has faced, and right now the rumor is him and Usyk for undisputed. Just your thoughts. Obviously, we've seen Usyk undisputed cruiserweight. Your thoughts on him as a heavyweight and how Fury does if that fight does take place.
Well, Fury, he's a very good fighter, of course. He cleaned up the cruiserweight division, moved up to heavyweight. Didn't look that good with Witherspoon and Chisora. So when he fought Joshua, I thought he was gonna be too small, and Joshua, eventually was gonna catch him, but he never did. So Usyk is a very good fighter, but at the same time, I think that styles makes fights, and I think that Usyk was a terrible style for Joshua. So we're gonna see what happens with Fury. But for me, Fury is the favorite. He's the bigger guy. He's a really good boxer. He's confident. He knows what he's good at, and he knows how to get the job done. So I really think that Fury is the favorite in that fight. But you can't really underestimate Usyk either. And we'll see. But it's gonna be interesting. I hope they can get it made.
Champ, have you ever sparred Usyk?
No, never.
What was it in your fight with Fury that you found to be able to take advantage of? You know, once again, obviously he struggled a lot. I was there for that fight. And you know, a lot of people felt that it could have been stopped due to the cut. So what was it in the ring that you felt that you were able to capitalize on?
I think that, going into that fight, I knew that Fury was a good boxer. He wanted to be comfortable and dance and do this and that. So I really wanted to go in there, show him no respect, and that's really what I did. I came out, I was aggressive, and I took those things away from him. He wasn't able to dance and do this and that and just box. So I think that was part of it, that I showed him no respect and just went after him. I think that's what you got to do when you fight these big guys and good fighters. You can't think about it too much. You just got to go in and lay it on the line. I think that was a big part of it. But you mentioned my trainer, Joey Gamache, earlier. We had a really good game plan, and Joey is a very good and smart trainer. So things were good in there. I did a lot of good things, but I also know that there's things that I could have done better, and I've been working on that.
Being as though that you are trained by Gamache, how'd you take the news that Teofimo Sr. and Jr. were not going to bring him in for that Kambosos fight?
Well, I don't know them personally, so it's hard to say, and I haven't been in his camp, so I don't know, but it seemed like Joey was bringing in a good side to their training camp. I think that Joey, must have been doing a good job. He looked great with Lomachenko. Not just saying that it was Joey's job, because his father has been training him his whole life, but I think that Joey, he's a smart trainer. He doesn't say too much. He says what's needed to be said. He's a calm guy, has a calm presence, and that brings me confidence, at least. So looking back at it, if I was Teofimo, I would have kept him, but it's easy to say now. But, we'll see. I think that Joey obviously brought something good to the table there.
Since we're talking trainers, what's your thoughts on Anthony Joshua, who you may still face, allegedly training here in America with world-renowned trainer, 2 times trainer of the year, Derek James, who has 1 unified champion and 1 undisputed champion and a top contender now?
Yeah, I think that Derek James has done a great job with Errol Spence and Charlos, right? And then Frank Martin coming up. So he's obviously a good trainer. Joshua, I think that he's lost a lot of confidence along the way, and I think that probably started with the Andy Ruiz loss. So I think that he really needs somebody to get his confidence back. We'll see if Derek James can do it. He had Robert Garcia, who's also a very good trainer. So I'm surprised that he's looking for another trainer again. You have guys that are very good, and then they start, looking around for different trainers when they get a loss, and, it doesn't always turn out so good. So I don't know what he's looking for right now, but, we see if he can find it. But like I said, I think more than anything, he needs confidence. So if he can get confidence with Derek James and he can bring that out of him, that would be good.
Otto, 2 questions. You talk about that confidence and how he's kind of lost it. As a fighter, do you believe, because, at media fans, they say it all the time, after a certain fighter gets knocked out, they get gun shy. They don't want to let their hands go. Do you think that it's possible for somebody like Anthony Joshua to get that confidence back?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I haven't been in his shoes, so I don't know, but, there's things to work with that. And you got to go over. You need a good trainer by your side, somebody that you trust and that trusts you. And you got to work on the defense and the offense, to bring everything together and know what happened when you got knocked out. You gotta work on taking those shots away. And I think that would bring a lot of confidence. And then, the mental part is so big in boxing. So you got to work with that outside of the ring also.
Also,
and,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say also, you mentioned him training with Robert Garcia, now switching trainers. Looks like he'll be training with Derek James. Something that Robert recommended, and it looks like AJ has listened in a way, was for him to leave the UK not be comfortable and come to America. He didn't do it with him, but it looks like he'll be doing that with Derrick James. Do you think that it's important to get out of that comfort zone, especially for somebody like him, having suffered now 3 losses, especially back-to-back to, Usyk?
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think that Joshua, he has so much pressure on himself. He came, he had a really fast climb to the top in boxing, and there seems to be a lot of pressure that comes with that. Money and people around you and everybody, or maybe people are depending on you. And in UK, in London, I'm sure he's recognized everywhere. So that might be hard for him. And then all of a sudden he gets knocked out. He's not the champ anymore. So that I'm sure that was a hard transition for him. So that might be a good thing for him to come out here, have less pressure, less eyes on him, and he can walk down the street, be a normal guy maybe, or more than England at least. So I think that could be a good thing. He obviously has had so much pressure on his shoulders.
Now, you're not necessarily on the younger side of the heavyweights, but you are younger than AJ, you're younger than Fury, than Wilder, than a lot of these top guys. Do you feel that you'll be able to outlast them and maybe get a fight down the line with one of these up-and-coming guys?
Yeah, I think so. And, I'm 32 now, but I'm in good shape. I haven't taken that much punishment in my career. I think I'm getting better all the time, and I really think that I'm coming into my best years now. So I'm hoping that's true, and that I have a lot of time left and a lot of good fights left in me. I think so. I'm gonna be here for a while, and I'm gonna be here for those up and coming guys also.
Otto, would you accept or entertain an offer from Top Rank, not as a co-promotion, just as a one-off fight versus Jared Anderson in April on the Shakur Stevenson undercard in Prudential Center in Newark?
Well, that's a good question. I would have to look at it. What's the reward with that? That's the only thing. I know that Anderson is a good fighter. He's coming up. If they can make us a good offer, and it probably wouldn't be for an eliminator or anything. So we'd have to take a look at that. But Anderson is a good fighter, and that could be a good fight. But I gotta get a big reward for that.
Would you prefer to go into a Jerry Forrest fight first to have that common opponent, or you don't think you need that? It's just about them being paid properly to face an up-and-coming hungry talent like Anderson?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to go in there with anybody that he's fought before. I just gotta have my fights, and then I'll be ready to fight him.
Is that someone even on your radar, or you feel like, no disrespect to him, he's good, he may be a future champion, you've heard what Fury said about him, but he's still behind you in terms of wherever you believe you're ranked because you faced bigger names? I mean, you got Dominic Brazil on your resume.
The WBC, Otto's 9 and Jared is 10. So,
oh, wow.
So I don't think they could get a final eliminator, but I'm sure some sort of eliminator could be ordered or something could be sorted for that one.
Yeah, but I mean, he's an up-and-coming guy. I don't think that they will match him against me now anyways. But, I mean, I'm in talks to fight Joshua or the big guys. So, that would I don't know if it would make sense. Maybe it would or maybe it wouldn't. But I would have to look at that situation. But I haven't looked at him. I've seen him fight, but I haven't thought that we were going to fight right now. Maybe in a couple of years or a year or something.
So the comeback of George Foreman in '77, are you a history guy? Because I am not. He retired in '77, took 10 years off, and came back in 1987. Yeah. Did you hear that story?
I've heard about it. I think that he came back with, he had a lot of fights before he fought Michael Moorer, right? And he started out with 4-rounders or 6-rounders, I think. And that was pretty interesting because usually when people come back from being retired, they go straight into 10 or 12 rounds, and that's not always so good.
He definitely came back straight to 10 rounders, but they didn't go 10.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm looking on BoxRec.
They just didn't go. Like 10. He was knocking everybody out when he came back, the most he went was 6 rounds.
I got 7 there in 1988.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first year.
And look who it is, Dwight Muhammad Kouali. Oh wow. But the only reason I'm bringing up this George Foreman story is because after the Jimmy Young loss, he took 10 years off, and no one expected him to come back. And then he fought a lot of nondescript names that no one knew, but that's what the doctor ordered. And he did get that confidence back. He was able to become a world champion. So I'm just doubling back to AJ. Should AJ take a page out of the Legends book and, just fight? Don't worry about the name.
Well, if I was him, I would do something like that. I would take a step back and have a few fights that, he can get his confidence back. I think that's probably what he needs. But, he has his promoters. They are making a lot of money off of him. And, he probably still wants to make money and this and that. So, I don't know. I can't tell. But that's probably what he needs. He needs a few fights against guys that he can look good against and knock out probably.
So we got a couple of questions from the people before we let you go. Ruin 504 says, any updates from Salita on the AJ fight? But you kind of touched on that unless you want to elaborate a bit more.
No, nothing. I know that they've been talks between Dimitri and Matchroom, but right now they've told us that I'm not the front runner.
James Valdez, San Antonio, Texas says, Usyk versus Fury, who wins and how?
I think that Fury would beat him on points, and I think just that Fury is too big and good boxer and a very confident guy. He knows what he's good at, and I think that will make the difference.
I got Brandon in Houston that says, hey, Otto, thanks for coming on. At the time, a lot of people thought Dillian Whyte faked an injury to bypass you to get the Fury fight. What do you think about that, and how common do you think faking injuries to get out of scheduled fights is in this current day in boxing?
Well, I don't think it's that common. The thing was with our fight that we had WBC sanctioned it. The winner was going to get a shot at Fury, and he was already ranked. He was already mandatory or something. Maybe not mandatory, but close to. He was the interim champion or something. And he pulled out of the fight. They never show us any evidence or anything. So I don't know what happened. Maybe he was injured, but. I think that he wasn't. But I don't think it's that common because I think it was a special situation there that he figured that he could get out of our fight and go ahead and fight Fury and make all that money. He made $8 million or something. So, I see why he did it.
So the common denominator in this equation is obviously Salita promotes you and Franklin. The attention shift from you to Franklin. Do you think that he can still get you a fight maybe on the undercard with Dillian Whyte or a main event with Dillian Whyte still?
I would love that. I would really love to fight Dillian Whyte because, we have some history there, him pulling out of the fight. And I'm not very impressed with him in the ring or outside of the ring. I'm pretty, pissed off with him because of what happened. So I think that I could take him to school if we fought, and I really hope that I get a shot at him. But he probably knows that I'm a difficult fight. And that's why he doesn't want to do it because, when he was injured, he never wanted to reschedule. When he got knocked out, when he came back, he never wanted to fight me again. So I think that's where it's at.
What were your thoughts on his fight with Franklin? Franklin seems to believe he won, and some people believe that's why Franklin is getting the win. They're saying boxing is correcting the wrong. And instead of Dillian getting the match with AJ, it will be Franklin who should have gotten the win versus Dillian.
Yeah, I think that Franklin did a good job. It was a close fight, but I honestly feel that Franklin, he should have got it, I felt like. And I think that he did good, and he showed Whyte that he was a good fighter. And, Whyte was acting like a bully that whole week from what I could see on YouTube and interviews and stuff. So I was happy with Franklin that he did such a good job.
Those are all my questions. Danny, if you don't have anything else.
No.
Otto, if you could give out your social media for anyone that isn't following you can do so. We appreciate you once again for taking out the time, and wish you the best of luck on January 27th. Also, give out ticket information.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. The fight is in Windham, New Hampshire. I think it's the promoter's called Boston Boxing or something. And yeah, my social media is just my name, Otto Wallin or Wallin, as I say it. So everybody can find me there. And if they have tickets, questions, or anything, they can send me a message and I try to share it with them. And also, the fights are going to be streamed at some website that I'm going to post on my social media also.
All right. Well, thank you so much, champ, and hope to have you back on the show again.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Heavyweight contender Otto Wallin, as he says it. So it's not Wallin, it's Wallin.
Wallin.
Sucks, man. Why is boxing like this, bro? I want somebody to fix this whack-ass sport, bro. These promoters holding guys back. That's all I see. It's a common denominator. We just seen this shit with Joe DeGuardia. Now you got Salita. You got no network. Let that man go. Get him a fucking co-promotion deal. What is wrong with these promoters, man?
That's why I asked him.
So sick of this sport, bro. The people in charge of this sport need to get beat with a fucking belt and wet that belt before you beat their ass, bro.
Ouch.
No, it don't make sense. It's so much politics. You're like, no wonder we're struggling. Like, how many of us have the mindset of you and I that day after day we can keep eating shit? That's basically it. Every time you think you get in a fight, it's some political BS jargon basura, man. I mean, Lord have mercy, man. It is tough being a boxing fan, bro. Very tough. Unfair, man. I don't know. We got the phone lines open if you guys want to call in and voice your opinion and let us know how you feel about, today's episode, the Edgar Berlanga free agent news. Where is he going to land? We do have a poll. Looks like PBC and Al Heyman is 51% of over 427 votes, which is, you guys are just haters. How I got 427 votes on my poll, but I ain't got 427 thumbs up. It's a lot of hate. It's free to hit the thumbs up. That being said, Golden Boy's only 18%, Black Prime 17%, Matchroom Boxing 14%. Danny, I guess where would you pick? Where do you want Berlanga to land?
I think PBC or Matchroom are good options. I think that there's fights with both entities that we could see him in next. I could see 2 to 3 fight deals with either entity or one-offs with either entity, but yeah, I would say even Black Prime or Boxer, you know what I'm saying, one-offs with those, I totally can see that as an option.
Yeah, I would probably, talk to Boxer. I mean, Black Prime first to see how much they offering for a one-off with Steven Nelson. Maybe I'd make phone calls to everybody, though. Like, yo, Top Rank. I mean, Golden Boy, what's up? What you got on the table for me and Berlanga in the Garden? Call up Matchroom. Oh, what's up? You ready for Pacheco to step up? You know what I'm saying? Like, he could make some phone calls and figure out what's going on and what is, what's out there. What's the best way to lean?
You seen him and Jesse Hart going at it?
Berlanga?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Jesse's a free agent, so he know Berlanga, can make the fight.
Oh, yeah.
But they've been trying to make that fight for a while.
Yeah, Jesse said that they let him go because Berlanga ducked him.
But, and that's, again, we go back to what I just ranted about, the politics in this sport. Albert Bell got cut because people wouldn't fight him. And it's a common theme. It's only black fighters get cut. Andre got cut because people wouldn't fight him.
Very true.
It's like Gary Russell shelf because motherfuckers won't fight him. Andre, he could only fight the dudes that he's given an opportunity for a title shot because the champions won't fight him. It's like a common theme. I mean, let's just be fucking real. It's hilarious. Top Rank, they cutting dudes because they can't get him a fight. I mean, it's got to be the check. Why wouldn't Berlanga fight Jesse Hart? He never been a world champ. He lost twice to Zurdo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's got to be finances, and I knew that. And that's what I said when the Shakur fight was ordered. They ain't going to get it because that dude was on pay-per-view. He was successful. He came out of there getting multiple offers, so that means he going to cost money, and they ain't spending it.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, Vito Minilecki gets fights because his father, Vito Minilecki, is a promoter with GH3. You know what I'm saying? So he going to move his son, you know? And Vito sells tickets. I mean, his debut, my man sold hella tickets. Remember, he was like a 17-year-old turning.
He was still in high school.
When so people, you know,
that
when you young
Jersey,
like that, when you young like that, people be following behind you and supporting your dreams. So, but I guess we're going to wrap up if we got no callers. I see somebody on the line. You got to press 1 if you're down to have fun. The number to call, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. And, yeah, I think that's about it. Rap City time. Danny, where can they find you?
Ringwalk Danny, Instagram and Twitter. We are the Boxing Voice.
Make us your choice.
GTO. Catch us on the next one.
Later.
Peace.